My name is Jason Carter, and what I'm about to share with you is not just a scary campfire tale. It's something that really happened to me and my friends during a summer vacation we thought would be unforgettable. And it was, but not for the reasons we expected. Even now, when I close my eyes, I can still hear the whispers and see the scratches on the walls. This story isn't made up, it's the truth. Some people will say I'm lying, or that I imagined it all, but deep down, I know what I saw. And if you keep listening, maybe you'll believe me too. It all started in the summer of 2013. Me, Jessica, Mike, and Ethan, 4 college friends, wanted one last adventure before life got serious. So we decided to rent an old cabin up in the Colorado mountains. It was cheap, and honestly, that should have been our first warning. But we were young, excited, and thought nothing bad could happen to us. When we told the locals where we were staying, their faces changed instantly. One man shook his head and said, "Ravenwood Cabin is cursed. People don't come back from there." We laughed it off, thinking it was just some mountain folklore to scare tourists. We couldn't have been more wrong. The first night seemed harmless. We lit a fire, played music, and told ghost stories, joking about the warnings we'd heard. But around midnight, Jessica froze. She swore she heard her name whispered outside the window. We checked. There was nothing. The woods were silent. Too silent. The next morning, our cooler was completely empty. Every scrap of food was gone. At first, we thought raccoons, but then we saw the footprints, bare, human-like, pressed deep in the dirt, leading straight to the cabin, and stopping right at the door. That night, we all stayed awake. At 2 a.m., heavy footsteps echoed above us. Ethan grabbed a flashlight and went to check the attic. All he found were broken pieces of furniture and piles of dust. But then we saw it. An eye carved deep into the wooden beams, surrounded by dozens of frantic scratch marks like someone had clawed at it desperately. By the third night, Jessica couldn't sleep at all. At 3 a.m., she screamed. We ran to her room. She swore a tall, shadowy figure had been standing in the corner watching her. But when we looked, there was nothing. Just her wide eyes and trembling voice. The next day, we hiked deeper into the woods to clear our heads. That's when we met him, an old man with weathered skin and hollow eyes. He warned us. Ravenwood isn't safe. A family stayed there in 1978. Only their daughter was found alive. She was scratching the walls, whispering the same words over and over. It comes back every summer. He walked away before we could ask more. That night was the worst. The doors slammed on their own. Windows rattled violently. And when I looked down at the floor, there were wet, muddy footprints inside the cabin. Bare feet, circling us. Ethan whispered, "Someone's in the forest, watching us." I looked out the window and froze. Between the trees stood a pale figure, still as stone. Its skin was bone white, its eyes glowing faintly unblinking. Just staring. We decided to leave at dawn. But at 4 a.m., I woke to a knock on my door. When I opened it, no one was there. But the hallway walls, they were covered in scratches, and carved into the wood were our names. Every one of us. Jessica screamed again, louder this time. We rushed to her room. Above her bed in huge carved letters were the words, "Stay forever, Jessica." The lights flickered, then went out completely. Darkness swallowed the room. And then, whispers, dozens of them, surrounded us. "Don't leave. Stay with us. Forever." Suddenly, something grabbed Mike. We watched in horror as he was dragged across the floor into the dark hallway. We ran after him, but he was gone. Just gone. Terrified, the 3 of us ran out into the woods. We didn't stop until we reached the highway at sunrise. The police searched Ravenwood, but they said they found nothing. No carvings, no footprints, no trace of Mike. Just an empty old cabin. They didn't believe us. But I know what happened. Mike never came back. And to this day, every summer, I wake up with dirt under my nails, as if I've been scratching at walls in my sleep. This isn't just a story. Ravenwood Cabin is real, and it's still waiting. Waiting for the next group of friends who think they're just going on a fun summer trip.